Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of your favorite Monday night sports podcast. What's up, cuz? I am your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself. He's back in 2023, Lancey Irvin.
What up, cuz? How are you, sir?
I am doing very well. And it's very good to see you here in this New Year 2023, and I'd like to say Feliz Ano Nuevo. Now, I got it right, Sean.
I know you butchered it up.
It's Año. It's Año, not Ano. Año Nuevo.
Año.
No, he didn't. Sean,
no, Ano is different.
Oh, Año.
Sean, can you say this in Spanish for me, please?
Feliz Ano Nuevo.
Can you say this in Spanish? Excuse my language. What the hell is this guy wearing tonight? What the hell is he wearing? Can you say that in Spanish, please?
This is my olive branch offering to my
what's olive branch?
My olive branch offering to you guys.
What olive branch? Okay, is that Devin Hester?
I'm wearing the Devin Hester Bears jersey because he's been nominated for the Hall of Fame again. And I'm wearing my Miami Dolphins hat to represent the team that is going to the playoffs on this platform that, only one person in SportsZone Chicago represents. So this is my peace offering to you guys.
Sean, when I was growing up, they called that false flagging in the neighborhood.
Yeah, they straight false flagging, man.
What? Pick a team. Like, what is he wearing? We don't need your sympathy. We was talking crazy to Sean and I the other day, last night, matter of fact, because now you come on to extend an olive branch for what?
It's a Monday night show. It's, national championship football game. And I do love a lot of people who love the Bears. So I do have some empathy for what you're currently going through with the franchise because I was just there with you a couple of years ago. So I don't like seeing my friends and family in pain. So I do hope they get this stuff together. However, the Dolphins are my team.
It's all right. He's preparing for one more game than we played. That's fine. All right, you get your ass whooped, and then you're gonna come back. And we won't even let you sit on the couch next to us. Stay your ass down stay up in Wisconsin. You can't even sit next to us on our couch. Not happening.
Jay, the cheetah can only take you guys so far.
You ain't lying.
So,
you may want to get a real quarterback.
We will.
Also, you off the tour bandwagon, or is he retiring? Which one is it?
I hope he retired, but I don't think he is. I don't think he is. But hey, we'll get to that in the future. Let's welcome everybody to the show.
Real quick, Lance, you asked me how you would say, what the hell is he wearing, right? You want to know what that is?
Yes, please help.
It's que diablos? Que diablos? Like
que diablos?
Que diablos está
que
usando?
Diablos está usando. Come on, Spanish speaker.
Que diablos? Like what the hell? When you say diablo, the devil, so you say what the hell? Que diablos está usando?
I'll wait for you to answer, Jason.
I told you what I'm wearing. Jesus. Hey, everybody. Welcome to What's Up, Cuz, our weekly shindig between me and my cousin, Lancey Irvin. We appreciate you for joining us here in 2023. Tonight, we have a special edition because the national championship football game is coming on in just a little bit. So we got a few topics that we want to get to before we know you all try to tune into that. But if you can keep the game on one end and watch us on the other end, that's cool. So for those of you who are watching us on our Roku TV SportsZone Chicago Channel, we appreciate you tuning in there, Roku. If you have not downloaded the SportsZone Chicago channel on Roku, go ahead and download that now so that you can watch us anywhere in your household. For those of you who are watching us on the Facebook live feed, we appreciate you watching us there. You can always send us your comments and questions there. If you're watching us on the SportsZone Chicago YouTube page, the YouTube live page, we appreciate you watching us there. And if you're watching us on the SportsZone Chicago app, and if you don't have the app, my cousin, he's getting ready to tell you where you can get that app.
You know what? How about the iTunes store, the Google store, and the Amazon Play store, cuz? But I'm just realizing, see, you made me ghetto famous. I'm on a lot of apps. And, we're on TV all over the place. When we was at the Proviso West Christmas tournament, we had a lot of people coming up telling me we wrote that they actually watch our show, which you and I knew they was watching anyway. But it actually felt good talking to people and understand what type of show that we were doing. And I had my beard all lined up and shaped up, cut it off, but I'm growing that back. As a matter of fact, I'm going to keep it until the NFL draft. But thanks everyone for watching us. I had a great time at Provisor West, even though Sean tried to tell me a new backside because he had to come out and help us with the show.
He did. That's because you were procrastinating. You need to learn that word in Espanol. Procrastinating. Because that's what you did. You made Sean run out there at the last minute. But, man, thank you to Calvin Davis. Thank you to Cyrus McGinnis. And Cyrus, get well soon. We know you're dealing with a medical issue. Get well soon. But they were great hosts out there. That's a good topic to start out on, Lance. And, we had a great time out there at the Provisor West Holiday Tournament, broadcasted live. And, man, we had a lot of good guests who stopped in, like this guy here.
Donald Pittman, Coach Pittman. We had a great time with Coach Pittman, Jay. And, just having an opportunity to talk to some people that was influential on us growing up, especially myself and my family playing basketball, and guys that understand the sport and love the sport, and seeing my man Lavertus, aka Flea Robinson, that played at King High School, that works for the Provisor West School District, that attended King High School, went to the University of Cincinnati, and played in the Provisor West tournament and set some records. And our guy Calvin Davis right there, who was subbing in for Cyrus out there, who was like the AD of Provisor West, and he works for Chicago Public School. He was head of the sports administration office, and just having an opportunity. And our man GV, Jay, I forgot about GV. Just him going over some of the stories, that John Shire story about him coming off the IV and playing the second half of that game was really good. And the only one was really mad. It was two people mad that day, Jay.
Who's that?
Myself and Sean, because St. Rita lost again that night.
This is true.
That's why Sean was out, and Sean still hot because St. Rita lost the other night.
This is true. St. Rita was there. They lost. You guys played Whitney Young in the championship game, and Whitney Young defeated Kenwood in the championship game. So I'm surprised they may not want us back because we're losing. We're going short lines and losing.
But they want us back because we did a great show, and people was watching us, and we had a great time. See, Cyrus, Cyrus, we wish you were. Side, thanks a lot, Side. See, they blaming me, but I don't want to. I don't want to keep bugging Side. And Side called us several days, Jay, and he actually wanted us to film the show, go out there and film the show. So if it wasn't for Cyrus, we wouldn't have been there. So shouts out to my man Side. They throw an excellent tournament at Provisor West.
Yeah,
they have some really good teams, Jay. I'm kind of curious who he's going to have back next year. So, the tournament keeps getting better and better since Cyrus took it over. So hopefully you have the Whitney Young Dolphins back, the Kenwood Broncos back, and bring the St. Rita Mustangs back, even though St. Rita might not want to come back. St. Rita lost 2 games in the tournament.
Yeah, they did.
They want to come back.
Oh, we'll give Rashawn back. He'll come back. It's growing pains.
Yeah, it has to bring St. Rita back. Sure. And I'm just joking, St. Rita should come back because, they brought Hubert Davis and Sean May, the North Carolina Tar Heel coaches out there, and they had on different Jordans. See, CJ, there's a couple of rules about your Jordan game. So you had to step your Michael Jordan gym shoe game up. See, the North Carolina Tar Heel coaching staff came out there wearing some ones that nobody seen. So, nice. Jay, your cousin, excuse me, myself, I stepped my game up. A couple of days ago, I had on my 1995 Jordans with the bubblegum soles on there. People was looking at me like, yeah, these are different. These are original. Well, shout out to our man Cyrus.
Yeah, shout out to Cyrus. He says 5 new teams next year, and everybody else will be back. So there you go. There's the news that we needed to know. And man, it was good, man. And because Cyrus is our boy, we can say stuff like this to him. Cyrus, don't be doing your Quentin from the Best Man final chapters impersonation on us, man, with your help, scaring the hell out of everybody.
What?
The hell is wrong with Cyrus, man? Cyrus know what I'm talking about. He better get himself together, man. We need you around, Cyrus. So you take care of your health, man. We need you back here. Don't be giving us those scares like that.
You know what, Jay? But when I called Cyrus, he was drinking an avocado smoothie. What? I said, that's the stuff that the Kardashian and everybody drinks. Jay, seriously, I called him and said, you're interrupting my avocado smoothie.
He doing it. I told you he doing his Quentin impersonation from the Best Man final chapters. If you hadn't seen it yet, you ain't gonna get the joke. But those who watched it know what I'm talking. Cyrus know what I'm talking about. That's why he laughing.
I need to watch that, Jay.
Yes, you do. Yes,
so are they drinking avocado smoothies on that show?
Well, our guy Q is doing a whole lot of stuff in the movie because he's had some medical concerns, so he got to change his diet. So he going through the stuff that we all go through once you get over 40. You like, woo, I've been living life kind of rough. Maybe I need to change the way I do stuff. But
Jay, man, I got to ask you this: how's my twin doing on the show? Why are you laughing? How's my twin doing? Why are you laughing?
The best part is that Morris Chestnut's character's name is Lance.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. I didn't know that.
So, you and your boy, oh my God, we'll get into that later. But it's incredible. It's incredible. I don't have that picture no more.
You don't have a side-by-side anymore?
We don't have a side-by-side of you and Morris Chestnut.
Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. You shouldn't have told me that. That's why I'm growing my beard back out again. Except I'm growing out, I'm gonna die.
But hey, man, what a great time we had out there in Proviso West again. So thank you very much. But hey, let's get to some of these topics, man. And we got to start. We have to start here. We have to start. We have to start because this is the city of Chicago. You are representing them. I am too. Old school.
Okay.
The Chicago Bears, your Chicago Bears, who concluded their season yesterday after losing to the Minnesota Vikings at home at Soldier Field. The Bears conclude their season, but they win the number one pick in the draft. So there you go, Lance. There's your great consolation prize, and this calls for about a 2-hour discussion on the SportsZone Chicago family text thread last night. And so I'm just going to ask the question again for all of our listeners. So the Bears get the first round pick in the draft. How do you feel about that? I personally feel like this is an indication on how bad your franchise is. I guess my objection to it is that it's not something that should be celebrated. Nobody should ever strive to be going for the number one pick in the draft because it means you were unsuccessful. However, I also get where you all are coming from and that, we need to rebuild. And if you're going to rebuild, you might as well start with the number one pick. But I want to hear your thoughts.
Jay, as a former athlete, you feel bad for the players, right? Because when you go through a season like that, nothing fun really comes out of it for the players, right? You play 17 games, you work as hard as you possibly can, and you end up on the wrong side of the ball more times than not. And the players, you're not really thinking about the number one pick. You're thinking about we lost a lot of games. You're thinking about in football, it's non-guaranteed contracts.
Right.
So you're thinking about other stuff. But for me, as a sports fan, I'm happy about the number one pick. But in football, you almost better, maybe Sean you almost better trading it because I feel like we need a lot of stuff. We need a wide receiver. We got rid of our linebackers. So we need a lot of things. And you got the number one pick. The quarterbacks are hot. I wish we could take Bryce Young, but we have Justin Fields. So with the number one pick, I don't know how you feel. Maybe we better off trading it to get some more other picks. Maybe you could pick later on down the line. Right. Some good defensive plays you could pick up late. But with that also being said, Jay, it's just tough. It's tough when you lose 10 in a row like that. Woo, you sitting there like, woo, you happy for the pick, but as a player, like we suck this year. But they traded away. But from Ron Poles, from his standpoint, they traded away so much to get to this point. So I understand. I'm not going to use the word tanking because I don't believe the players on the field are actually tanking. They're doing the best they could possibly do. And sometimes you are what you are. You third string, you fourth string for a reason. Right. So it's not their fault. But I'm not going to use the word tanking, but it was tanking.
Okay, so let me say this. So here's my thing with the number one pick. If you are in need of a franchise quarterback and you get the number one pick, oh, hell yeah, you celebrate. because the quarterback is the most important position in all of sports.
Mhm.
Let's just put it out there. And if you get a chance to get that franchise-changing quarterback with your number one pick, then hell yeah, you keep it and you go. So then the question becomes, and this is where I think the argument and the disconnect is taking place right now. Do you consider Justin Fields your franchise quarterback? Some people do. Some people don't. Some people are like, he could potentially be a franchise quarterback. I think I'm kind of in the middle on this. I'm not sold that he's the franchise quarterback, but I also think he has the potential to be the franchise quarterback. Sean has made several great points about this, about how he'll have a second year in the system next year, and that the kid is a proven winner in the past. And I can't go against all that. I agree with all that. But I also have to go by what I saw. And what I saw this year, I had some concerns. I think this guy was really struggling reading some of the defense. I think he struggled on some of his throws, even though I think he got better. But I don't like quarterbacks who take off and run after that first read in there and they go. I just think it breeds too many bad habits. And I'm not sure if he can overcome that. I hope he can, but that's my concern. And that's why I'm saying I'm not completely sold on him being a franchise quarterback. But when you look at the skill set he brings to the position, plus his athleticism, which takes it to a different level, I can get where everybody is coming from. And that's kind of where I stand on this. So what would I do with the pick? I don't know.
I think you said, Jay, I'm not truly sold on Fields. I think he's a good quarterback. But until we have some pieces around him that can help the situation out, then we can make a better decision, I want to say, if he's a franchise quarterback. Like Sean said, second year in the system, you hope he would better. I will hope so. But he literally, Jay, like, how many people did he really have to throw the ball to?
That's another issue. I agree.
Like who? And when you trade away the defense, I mean, like Sean said earlier during the year, he thought the Bears would get 8 wins.
Yeah.
8 or 8-9. I think if they wouldn't have traded the players that they traded, they were probably on the verge of getting that. But Jay, like when we throw for 77 yards and 45 yards these days, I'm a little concerned about that. But he has all the tools to be a good NFL quarterback. And if he continues to progress and make his reads better, he'll be fine.
So we will see. We will see what happens with that. But the Bears season has come to an end. Justin Fields, another season in the book for him. He definitely got some good experience. He got to learn how to slide, though, because I don't need him getting hit. I don't want to see him getting, hurt like that. But I think the Bears have so many needs, especially on that offensive line. I think that's where you have to start. Your offensive line, your defensive line, you need a pass rusher. You mentioned the linebackers. You also need a cornerback. And he probably needs some people to throw the damn ball to. So
exactly.
you might want to trade that pick and get about 2-3 other picks.
And here's my thing, Jay. Like people keep saying, we have a lot of cap space. Cap space. If you don't get the right players, what does your cap space do for you?
True. No doubt. All right. Well, we'll see what the Chicago Bears do. They definitely have a tough road ahead of them. We will see what they do. But hey, let's stay on somewhat.
What up, Sudi? Shout out to our man, Sudi Davis.
Shout out to our guy, Sudi. February 1st, Sudi. February 1st. You'll know what I'm talking about. Shout out to Sudi, yes. Let's stay on the Bears because we got help yesterday. You guys got a lot of help from your former coach. This guy, Lovie Smith, who is still helping the Bears. He is still helping the Bears. Your guy, Lovie Smith, a.k.a. the Black Santa Claus is what people call him these days. Lovie Smith helps out the Bears. He helps them, but he gets absolutely no love in Houston as the Houston Texans organizations has fired Lovie Smith. Yet again, Lovie loses another job. Let me hear your thoughts on Lovie Smith getting fired.
It's once again, Jay, that's 2 African American coaches that got fired back to back.
Yes.
He really didn't have a chance, Jay. The team was bad. They were set up from the Deshaun Watson situation. They were in a bad situation. To give 2 coaches back to back a year and a year, like people say, they made money. Yeah, they made money, but they really didn't have an opportunity to show what they could do in that short period of time. Jay, what other franchise? Maybe you guys can correct me. I'm not sure. Fired two African American head coaches back to back in less than a year. He wasn't even on the job a full year, Jay.
I haven't seen it yet.
Neither one of them.
I've been
For
looking.
4 years.
I haven't found any organization.
Jay,
that
I
did that.
mean, but you want somebody to root for the Texans? Why should we root for the Texans? That's the way those two guys did it. You know, I coach for a living. Everybody knows, Jay. But that's not right, man. That's not right. I get it. They can make the decision, Jay, but back to back. So are you telling me both coaches you hired, you thought they was competent 100 days ago, but 100 days later, they're not competent after you picked the players for them?
It's a good point. It's a good point. And I think, we're not fooling ourselves here. We all knew that Lovey was a placeholder. We know that the Houston Texans really wanted to hire, who was it, Josh McCown? I think it's who they wanted to hire. I think it was McCown, who they really wanted to hire, but they got so much flack because they weren't really looking at a diverse pool of candidates. So, they kind of hired Lovey out of spite. And you could tell that by the way they dismissed him. They dismissed him out of spite. So, the Houston Texans, Houston got a very large black and brown population down there. I'm very interested to see how those two communities treat the franchise as bearing Houston's name. And Houston got a black mayor, for the love of God. So,
Man, Jay, and to answer your question, they have the number 2 pick, right?
Yeah.
If you've been as bad as they've been for 2 years, why don't you just do like you've been doing there? Sit out the starters and go ahead and lose.
Well, and I think that's what got Lovey in trouble more than anything else. I think him coming out and saying he ain't trying to tank, and I ain't mad at him for saying it, but I think that was where the organization wanted him to go. And I actually think what sealed his fate was them winning that game yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Jay, because you almost like, and excuse my language, I hate cursing on shoot, but you damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right.
Like, Lovey was like, no, I'm playing to win.
Right.
So he went ahead to win, but the general sports fan would say it really didn't make any sense.
Right.
But then again, Jay, how much difference is in the NFL from the number 1 and the number 2 pick?
That's a good point. That is a good point. And that's why I think they were just being petty. I think they were being evil about it. I was, yeah. I mean, I don't, I've never been a big Lovie Smith fan in terms of his coaching style. I don't think he's a good head coach. I think he's a great coordinator. I think the proof is in the pudding. After he had his most success here in Chicago, but he went to Tampa Bay. He didn't really do anything there. He went to the University of Illinois. He didn't do anything there. I did pull up his coaching record. It is under 500 in the NFL. His playoff record is 3-3 in the NFL. But the wins he got in the playoffs were all with the Bears. So, I mean, I'm not a big Lovie Smith fan, but I also think he got played. But it's kind of hard for me to have empathy for people when they've got millions of dollars to get paid. I'm sorry. That's just me.
You know what, Jay? Like I said, but it's a human element side to this story, too, right? Sure. And I get his bank account is a lot fatter, and maybe he's living in Florida somewhere. But from the human side of it, I mean, I feel. But with that being said, though, Jay, they say you hired to be fired.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you might as well go ahead, but it's tough for a coach, Jay. You asking somebody to lose, and Lovey is a competitor. You want to win. But pride. It really, your pride in a way, but it just didn't make sense because they need a quarterback, unless I'm wrong. That's Bryce Young.
Yeah. And the Bears ain't going to take him nowhere at number 1. So, you're sitting pretty at number 2. Now, if the Bears take him at number 1, that would be absolutely amazing because it's saying that they don't think Justin Fields is the guy, but I just don't think they're going to do that. I just don't think they'll do that. Even though Brian Poles did not draft Justin Fields, and I know we kind of go with this, well, that's not my guy thing. I haven't gotten any indication from Poles that he feels that way about Justin Fields.
So let me ask you this, cousin. Yeah. Is Bryce Young a better quarterback than Justin Fields?
I can't say that. I can't say that. Potential. I don't even like to get into that type of speculation, Lance, and here's why. Because Justin Fields at least has played in the NFL, so you can see a little bit of sample of him playing in the NFL. Whereas this other kid, he ain't never played in the NFL. we don't know what he's working with. So, you're just guessing at this point and trying to, predict what can happen. So, sometimes you're better off with the devil you have, the devil you know, than the devil you don't know, so to speak. And I'm not calling these guys devils.
Exactly.
But, you get where I'm coming from. So we shall see. We shall see. It's going to be very interesting. Hey, let's stay on the topic of football and get some happy news for the Bears. In addition to the Bears getting the number 1 pick in the draft, people were also celebrating last night about 10 o'clock p.m. because this happened. The Green Bay Packers were sent packing, Lance Irvin. The Detroit Lions went up to Lambeau Field and defeated the Packers. And oh my God, have we all started this photo going around in Chicago?
And when Aaron Rodgers dropped back, Jay, in the fourth quarter with about 3.5 minutes left, that ball left his hand pretty. When it got picked off, Jay, I was like, that's ball game. That is ball game. And I said that start of the year, Jay. I said the Lions was going to be better this year.
Yeah, I said it too.
Yep. We was talking about it. I said their defense was stingy. They had a really good year. So, I mean, with that being said, though, I mean, they paid him a lot of money. They paid him a lot of money. And
hey, this is going to be the next meme for probably the next year. The Jordan crying meme, and this dude. This would be not even a meme, just a gif. This would be it, because he was pounding like a little sorry ass bitch. Like, dude,
that's a real that guy was.
Oh, yeah.
He was pouting. No, he was pouting. He was like, when you're a kid and your mom says, no, I want some cookies. No, it's after 8 o'clock. I want some cookies. And then she'll slap your hand like, boy, don't make me. And you walk away and you pout and this and this and that. That was him. And he came out and said, oh, my emotions got the best of me. Like, bro, like, come on, man. I was like, you a grown ass man. I get it's emotional, the game. I get it, but you gotta know cameras are everywhere, dude. You have to.
Yes.
But hey, go ahead. You know what? Now you're me. Now, hey, we just made you famous.
Exactly.
And this was after he got ejected from the game, Lance. Because he got kicked out. Yeah. So a player from Detroit got injured, and the trainers came out, and he was kind of in the way, and the trainer was like, excuse me, let me get through, and he shoved the trainer. He shoved the man right in front of the referee. The referee threw the flag like, the hell are you doing? so he gets ejected from the contest, and he had to do that walk of shame through the tunnel all by himself, and the cameras were there in the tunnel. And oh my God, I wish I had the video, because the video is even better than the picture. But the guy got kicked out of the game. He had to do this walk of shame. He's crying going down the tunnel. And oh my gosh, Chicago people just went bananas. I was watching TV.
Loved it.
I was rolling.
Yeah. After what happened Monday, you're going to push a trainer?
Yeah, and that's what everybody's saying. Quay Walker, that's who that was, Quay Walker. But yes, after what happened with DeMar Hamlin, we're all praising athletic trainers. I mean, we've had athletic trainers on this show because we know they don't get the credit they actually deserve for all the hours they work and what they do to try to keep these athletes healthy. And it was amazing. I think Sean is actually trying to pull it up now in the background, the whole video, because it was too much, Lance. I just couldn't believe it. But yeah, after what the trainers have done, that's what this fool did.
Sean, so he's running the crowd. So Sean, it's obvious he lost his emotion, but like, why? I know they go through a lot, but come on, young fella.
That I can't speak why he was so adamant about it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that was all about. I don't know. That's the situation. Yeah, that's the situation where he's, himself. He's doing that whole thing. Yeah, here I'll share this. Hold on, let me pull it up.
So Jay.
All right, we'll let Sean's getting the video ready.
So is Aaron Rodgers. Is Aaron Rodgers going to the Miami?
Yes, he's coming to the Dolphins. I'm going to speak this into existence.
All right, don't stop doing saying stupid shit like that. Don't do that.
Stop raining on my parade. He's coming to Miami. Well, here's my argument.
Hey, I want to argue.
He's got receivers he can throw to. He got people he can throw the ball to. We got a tight end. We got a receiving core. And he got
that's why I don't want his goofy ass up there, dude. I don't want him down in Miami.
That's why he would come.
Well, he would have had a receiving core if he didn't get greedy and take the $50 million.
Well,
Devontae Adams, I mean, come on.
Oh well, we're a bigger market than Green Bay.
Much bigger.
Yeah, I get that. But you think Miami though?
Man, have you seen the moves Miami done made in the last 2 years? They have gone for it. Now, the Bubba Chubb thing hadn't worked out the way we wanted, but even when they did it, Sean was like, oh, shit, they done got Chubb. I mean, they are showing that they are willing to go for it, and I'm cool with that.
You ready, Lance?
Yeah.
Miami anymore.
Here's the video. All right, you got to see this. Yeah, this should be good.
Let me see how many times I would have told him to go sit down somewhere.
All right. It looks like he's pulling it up there. Just got to get it on screen here. Here he comes. Oh, we can see it in the background, Sean. But, wait.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, wait. He's going to play it again for us. It's all right.
Trey Young.
I'm telling you, that was.
Here we go. This is absolutely hilarious.
Knows the emotion got the work of him. For the second time this year on a Sunday night, as we mentioned, we saw it in Buffalo. The sideline personnel, players on the practice squad, not in uniform. Walker got involved with on the sidelines.
So there it was.
Yeah, that clip courtesy of NBC. Just pouting like a little spoiled brat.
And he
got
mad.
He's mad. He got kicked out of the most important game. Yeah, he's.
And he got involved with people on the sideline.
Yeah.
You know what I say? Puck the Fackers is all I gotta say. Puck the Fackers.
There you go. There you go. I agree with you. I am united with you guys on that. Regardless of what team I'm pulling for, I'm always hate the Packers. And so what made it so funny, Lance? You know how I knew he did something so stupid. His coach, and NFL coaches can be animated, but his coach literally was like out on the field, took off his headset, like, what are you doing? Thank you. Use your hand. Why would you do this?
You see, I said, how many times would I have sent him to the locker room? Like, he had to be a rookie. He had to be a rookie. Please don't tell me he's a veteran.
His own teammates, Lance, when he did it, they look like, why are you assaulting the trainer? What are you like?
What's your problem? What's your problem is, fool?
What are you doing? Like, go sit down somewhere. It was unbelievable. Hey, it's the Packers and we hate the Packers. So yes, it was quite hilarious, and I absolutely loved every minute of that situation. So what can I say?
I do believe, yeah, he is a rookie. So he's a rookie. It's Jaquavion Jaquise Walker. So they just call him Quay for short. That's why I call him Quay. He was born and made, and he was drafted. He's out of Georgia, drafted by the Packers, and he's a first-round draft pick in the 2022 draft. So yeah, he's a rookie.
That right there will get you not ball back next year.
Yeah. Well, we'll be keeping that one in the SportsZone Chicago file because I'm sure all the shows want to use that photo right there. So we appreciate that. Hey, stay on football, but the positive news today before we came on the show a couple hours before, Damar Hamlin sent home from the hospital, Lance. He's gone home from the hospital in Cincinnati. He's back at home in Buffalo. They released a statement saying that yesterday he was able to get up and walk a full lap around the hospital that he was in, that he watched the game and was celebrating the Bills' win, and that the next step in his recovery he can do at home. So we know he still has a ways to go, but thank God Damar Hamlin survived what happened to him, and that it looks like he's going to make a full recovery.
I mean, you happy for him, Jay, and I think like everyone else across the country and across the world that saw it, we were praying for him that he came out well and came out great, and he made it. Because I mean, Jay, I haven't seen nothing like that either, or heard anything like that either. For the young man to still be living is amazing. And I heard somebody on the TV show say if he probably would have been anywhere else, he probably wouldn't have made it, Jay. Shout out to the NFL community, because one after another, from the ambulance to the trainers to the doctors, everyone was on point, Jay. Mm-hmm. And you know how crazy the atmosphere can be. Let you know it is a God upstairs, because in the end, Jay, Everyone was where they're supposed to be. They got to him in just a nick of time. The trainer knew to do CPR, Jay. So, and I'm a firm believer is what he sold, trying to help people in this community better themselves, it came back to him. So shout out to DeMar Hamlin. And shout out to his family. And I could just only imagine how his family was feeling when they came down from the stands. So shout out to everybody that helped him get where he is right now, Jay. Man, he's lucky.
Yeah, he's very lucky. I mean, that was I didn't watch it live. I wasn't watching that game live, but I started getting all the messages and everything, and I knew something was going on. We have the statement. Sean, can you put the statement up, and then I can kind of read from it from there. But yeah, here's the statement right here. Okay, so we are thrilled and proud to share that DeMar Hamlin has been released from the hospital and returned to Buffalo. He is doing well, and this is the next stage of his recovery. That came from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. And then we also have another statement that is, I believe that one is a tweet. Is that from the Bills itself, Sean? That might be, I can't remember who that's.
No, that's DeMar himself. That's DeMar himself.
Oh, that's from DeMar himself. Okay, I didn't even know he had a tweet that he released. But I mean, everybody just so happy for this young man. I thought the NFL did a very nice tribute to the young man before all the games around the country. Everyone had the number 3 kind of on their field or displayed somewhere in their stadium. I thought that was a really cool thing. And once again, I'm just really happy this young man survived, man. That was some scary stuff, man.
You know what, Jay? I'm definitely happy for him. And, like you was doing too, reading a lot of posts and like we said, praying for him, right? But also, I mean, I don't know how his contract looked, but I know they don't have guaranteed contracts in the NFL either.
Right.
So, I don't know if he's going to be on the field next year or when he's going to be back on the field. We're not concerned about that. But we're concerned about his medical bills and concerned about how he's going to feed his family. Because when I was reading stuff, Jay, the money went down from here to here if you get injured and that type of stuff too. So hopefully they'll do what's right and make sure they take care of him from a financial standpoint.
Yeah.
And guarantee his money.
Well, I think in this situation, they've already announced that the NFL and the NFLPA have come together and they've made some adjustments in this special situation. Right. However, I do think this tragic event is bringing to light the NFL contracts. I knew that these contracts weren't guaranteed, and my wife was shocked when I told her a couple of years about it. And I was like, Sharice, this is why I keep telling kids play baseball, get your guaranteed $300 million, and you don't have to deal with as much violence as you do in football. But I think this is going to start the conversation just about NFL contracts. The NFL is, pretty much the king in the United States in terms of major sports leagues. And they got the money. They can do better by these players, man.
Go ahead, Jason. Read that if you can.
I cannot. It's a little too small for me.
Okay. It says breaking news. DeMar Hamlin will be taken care of medically and financially by the Buffalo Bills. This is from Niagara Action. It says specifically DeMar Hamlin was set to earn $825,000 in 2022. His split rate, if he's on the injured reserve, is $455,000. Placed on IR this week, that's the difference of $20,000. Buffalo worked it out so that he will receive the whole thing, even though he is not on the active roster. So the NFL, the Bills spoke with the NFL and the NFLPA, and they will pay him his full salary.
Yeah. That's great. And I think they had to do that. This would have been a public relations
disaster.
They'd been like, well, the contract. We didn't
tell you to have a heart attack on the field.
Yeah. Like Pam, man, you shouldn't even be concerned about that. Like, we shouldn't even be in a situation where we're even talking about
just what they did. They extended so much goodwill and they made themselves a destination spot. One, they got a good team. 2, they got a great fan base, the crazy Bills Mafia. 3, when you saw something that happened like this, people and free agents are going to say, hey, this is an organization that really takes care of us in a situation like that. If I hit free agency and they're one of the teams that's interested in me, I might take a really strong, even a double look at that organization because of what they did to that guy, how they supported him and had his back. Because truth be told, listen, owners, when it's all said and done, at the end of the fiscal year, when all the bills are paid, because the NFL is a not-for-profit organization, so all the money they make is split up between the owners. They're making over $300 million a year each, all 32 teams, 31 teams, and then the shareholders for the people up by you, Jay, in Wisconsin. $300 million a year they're making. So what is literally, imagine if you had $300 and to take care of somebody, it cost you $1.
Right.
Or $2. You know what I mean? Like that is, it's literally lint in your pocket. So, Armando, he literally died for them twice. Yeah. He was pronounced dead. Obviously, you don't resuscitate somebody, if they're alive. So he died twice. He died in the field, and then he also died in the hospital. They had to revive him in the hospital too. So, yeah, they had to do that. Smart move. Great PR, but it was just the right thing to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Just the right thing to do.
It was the humane thing to do, man.
That's probably the best way to put it, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, humane thing.
So, do you guys ever think, Jay, you think the contracts will be guaranteed in the next 5 years?
Here's my thing. And I was going to actually write on it for my blog, but I decided not to. I wanted to make sure this young man survived and he's healthy before I write it. And I'm going to, I got to be smart too when I say shit. Yep. The NFLPA sucks. Let's just say that. Okay, we can say whatever we want about the NFL. The Players Association negotiates these contracts. And y'all put this bullshit out here to put your own people at risk. And the players themselves have come out and said our union ain't about you know what. The players have said it. They got the weakest union. The hockey union is stronger, Lance. Come on, man. Even though hockey players are like, man, I'm money guaranteed. We don't know what y'all talking about. Baseball got the best one, but the NFL got the worst, man.
So, Jay, as a player, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you have to vote for some of this stuff, correct?
Yeah.
Like, why would the players vote for that? Like,
I don't know.
Time after again, why would you continue to vote for that?
Again, and that's why I wanted to make sure this young man was out first before I said that. Like, in the NFL, players have a kind of a history of doing this stuff. So here's the example. Colin Kaepernick, okay? Everybody knew what was going on. Everybody thought it was wrong. People was taking a stance, we're going to boycott the NFL, until the NFL players themselves didn't really back Kaepernick. They, a few of them may have said a couple of things, but when it was time for the rubber to hit the road, they're like, well, it's game day. I got to get out there. And so that was the first thing. The second thing was the whole flack about the whole kneeling. And when the president of the United States at that time called them SOBs, and Jerry Jones came out and said his things, and the players were like, no, we're going to kneel anyway. We don't care what they say. And they all did it for like a week or two. And then it kind of backed up. So, these guys put their lives on the line and they are warriors. But when it comes to some of this stuff off the field, I'm not seeing the same type of intestinal fortitude that I would like to see. And I think if they would do that, the public would support them more. But I know being a journalist, if the public don't see you really pushing for it, then they'll be like, I guess it's okay then. Because the public can be fickle.
And what have you done for me lately, too? But with that, Jay, like, how can they be the only major sport and probably one of the most dangerous sports that's being played these days, and you can't have guaranteed money?
That again, I put that on union. I put that on the players because it's their union and the union. You have to be, you're dealing with a bunch of billions. Sean just said it. At the end of the day, them dudes going to come down to the bottom line of money. They are rich white dudes who this is their play money. Let's be honest. They make their money in other arenas. They on an NFL team, most of them are doing it just to, they like the sport or for other reasons. They don't really do it to make money. Of course, they want to make money, though. But it ain't, except the Bears, the McCaskies, because this is their family business. They got to do this. So, I don't know. I feel a certain kind of way about it. I think you have to be willing to stand up for yourself. And I think the players need to stand up for themselves. Your brother taught me. Your brother actually taught me this a long time ago, Byron, because Byron's an NBA agent. But Byron always said the NBA is different than the other leagues because in the NBA, basically the players run that shit.
They're running it. Running it. Run it. Every bit of LeBron's $44 million is guaranteed. They're not going for that.
Right. He said they run it. And he said that's why you see now the NBA players, they're wearing all different color shoes. Remember the league used to be like, no, you can only wear white. And then the playoffs, you can wear black.
But no, that was the reason Jordans came out. That's why Jordans took off, because they had to be the same color of your uniform.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be necessarily white, but so remember he wore the black and red ones, and there was no, and because remember there was the interview in David Letterman, and after his Jordans came out, he's like, well, why did they ban them? He said, well, he goes, there was no white. He goes, there was no white in the shoes. He's like, yeah, kind of like the NBA.
Hey, right. Right. Great one line about David. You're right. But yeah, the NBA, the players run that league. And Byron taught me that way back when he was like, the players run the league, Jay. He like, they can say whatever they want. The bottom line is the players run the league. And I think we really saw the players in the NBA flex their muscles, especially in 2020 after the whole George Floyd and Breonna Taylor unfortunate incidents.
Yeah, because like you said, they deserve to have guaranteed money. If their union needs to get better, like you said, but how can you sign off on that? How can you sign off on it? And I get it, Jay. I understand we all need our money, but at some point in time, you have to stand for something.
I couldn't agree with you more, cuz. I couldn't agree with you more. And, we'll see kind of what happens going forward with that. But
exactly, Jay. That's gonna be interesting. I'm staying on top of this story, Jay.
Yes, yeah, because I want to see what happens with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, we want to see what happens with that. All right, let's move a little bit on. We're gonna go to college basketball real quick, Sean. We had some news that came out of that. We talked about this back in 2022. It was pretty much right before we went to break. But the University of Texas made a decision. Say adios to Chris Beard. Coach Chris Beard had been arrested on suspicion of domestic violence. Texas has done away with him. Lance, your thoughts?
You know what, Jay? I kind of expected that was going to happen because I understand that when you do those type of things that he's did, it's not acceptable, especially with the way our coach is about how you putting your hands on women. And, I was on a chat with a group of former coaches, and it was half and half. Some people thought he was going to keep his job. Some people thought he was going to get fired. I thought he was going to probably lose it because the longer it went on, Jay, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days without a decision being made. I think you was the one that said I think you told me a couple of months ago, the longer it goes on, that's when they call legal. Legal is checking it to make sure everything is right before they get rid of you. And I was like, day one, nothing. Day two, legal is making sure they got their I's and crossing their T's.
Yeah.
And my thing, Jay, was like, how long would it take him to get another job, though? I'm looking at that also. Somebody is going to hire him at a lower level next year. Next year, he'll have another job. Not next year, the year after next, he'll have another job, Jay. Just watch.
So let me ask you this: would a black coach get that same opportunity?
You know what? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. But I'm starting to try to think more positive, Jay.
Okay.
More times than not, it wouldn't happen. But I've seen often some of the counterparts, some of the white counterparts, they're getting those jobs back. And we could name coaches that have done some stuff and they get jobs back. Like Jay, we could just talk about the pay for play scandal. The only coach that took something on the chin was Michael Boyd at Oklahoma State, and he wasn't even involved in it. And they couldn't go to the NCAA tournament. They took a hit the next year. Everybody else, Sean Miller got a job. Everybody in a job. Bill Self kept his job. The black assistants, the only people that played the price. Book was in jail. Our man at Oklahoma State, my man Lamont, he got banned. Tony Bland at USC.
What about Chuck Person? Was Chuck Person involved?
Chuck Person was involved semi in that, and with the referee, Chuck Person is not working again. Yeah. Every coach. Will Wade to be back in coaching from LSU. He'll be back this year. Trust me. We just talking about what we what we know and what we seen, Jay. Bill Self still over there on the sideline coaching. Nothing happened to Kansas. Did you read anything happened to Kansas?
No, I didn't. I didn't. Okay, well, it's interesting. Well, Chris Beard is out at the University of Texas. They say adios to him. We will keep an eye and see where he turns up next. Because
Jay, he's making $5 million a year now, and his fiance came back and tried to recant her story.
Yeah, I saw that. But and I'll say this because domestic violence is something that I have a lot of knowledge of, covering it for so many years in Chicago, and that's not actually uncommon. A lot of times the victim will recant, and they recant for a lot of different reasons. They recant because they've threatened. They recant because their financial life is tied to their accuser, their abuser. So that when I saw that, I was like, that don't mean it doesn't happen, because this happens kind of all the time. So that was, but I was quite aware of that. But we'll see what happens there.
And that's $5 million a year for Chris Beard, but hopefully the young lady is okay, Jay.
Yeah,
but that's a tough situation. But
and hopefully he gets the help he needs.
Exactly.
Let's say that.
Exactly. I like the way you phrased that, Jay. And,
because I know men who've abused women, and if they take responsibility for it and they go through the treatment programs for it, you can come out a better human being and a better man. And I'm not for throwing away people, but this is going to stain him for the rest of his life, and it should. Just like Chris Brown has been stained for what happened with Rihanna. But I also think that we have to help these men, because there are a lot of broken men in this country. And especially since this is like mental health awareness month for men, especially too. So, we'll see what happens with that. We'll keep an eye on it, but I definitely think he's going to get another job. I just think he needs to go through some serious treatment, and he needs to face the legal consequences of that situation that all need to play out first. All right. Hey, let's stay on college basketball. Some good news. Look at this photo here, Sean. Woo, look at these two here. Oh my goodness. We got Lance Irvin and his daughter, Brooklyn Irvin. And tell everybody where this photo was taken, Lance.
At the Illinois Northwestern men's basketball game last week, Jay. Brooklyn and I said, Brooke, you want to go there to the Illinois Northwestern game? She was like, sure. Northwestern has done a wonderful job renovating that arena, Jay. The only problem I had is this, though. Shout out to my man Chris Lowry's sister, Coach. We need to get Chris on the show too.
Sure.
It was more Illinois fans than Northwestern fans at the game, Jay. I was kind of shocked at that, cuz.
Yeah.
Northwestern won, but
Illinois does have a bigger fan base. There's no doubt about that. They got a bigger fan base than Northwestern, and especially with sports, a lot of that basketball has got a much stronger tradition than Northwestern does. But shout out to our guy Chris Collins, former guest here on What's Up, cuz he got a big win over the in-state rival. I was stunned.
Hey, I was sitting there I was like, Northwestern Christian, I'm gonna pull this thing off. So they beat them, Jay. They was up by like 13-14 with a couple of minutes left. Then at the end of the game, Jay, they end up winning by they kept it up, so they won by 13. Then last night, Jay, they went and beat Indiana on the road.
Yeah, they did.
So right now, I think Northwestern, they sitting in good shape, Jay. They're like 13-3 or 12-3. Think they're like 4-1 in the Big Ten.
Chris said, damn, y'all, I'm keeping my job because I know he was on the hot seat this year. Just like, I need to get some wins. So,
and those guys, Jay, they playing well too. So, we'll see. Hopefully, they can continue to get some more wins. But let me ask you this, cuz. Okay. You're a journalist. Are they Chicago's Big Ten team?
We've had this debate.
Are they? Your cousin Brooklyn kept daddy. Are they Chicago's Big Ten team? I'm like, well, if they say they are. It's like, is Evanston really Chicago?
Well, see, now we're going to get to this whole thing.
I'm just saying, I'm just asking.
So here's how I see it. Both Northwestern and Illinois have strong ties to Chicago. Both of them do. I think Northwestern's ties are more on academics than Illinois. They're a better school academically than Illinois. I think everybody knows that. while they're not technically in Chicago, they are in Evanston, which is one of the suburbs, which is kind of like over the border. At least they're in Cook County. So I don't have a problem with, let's say you live in Dalton, or you live in Maywood on the west side, or Skokie. I will give you're from Chicago. You may not be all Chicago, but you're in the general area. Now, if you live in goddamn Elgin, like your sister-in-law, you grew up in Elgin or Algonquin or, McHenry County, I need y'all to stop. Rockford. I need you to stop saying you're from Chicago, because that don't count. We're not. You ain't even in the same county, so you don't get to make the claim. But I will accept Northwestern because they are, they got, hell, that's where my health is, Northwestern Memorial Hospital. They got hospitals in Chicago. They got a campus in Chicago. I went to Medill for the summer for the journalism program. It was on Lakeshore Drive. So while in Chicago, while the main campus is in Evanston, they got a lot of stuff in Chicago. So, yes, they are Chicago's Big Ten team. I think if they win more in sports, specifically football and basketball, you're going to see a whole lot of people claiming them. I mean, we claimed Sister Jean and Loyola. Not everybody went to Loyola, but they are in Chicago. But Northwestern up there by Loyola. They're like 10 minutes away from each other. So, yes, I will say they're Chicago's Big Ten team.
Okay. I was just curious because Brooklyn kept that out. It really Chicago.
Oh, Lord. Here goes my cousin, Lisa Foster. She like, no. Here come that line now, people. No, they ain't Chicago.
No. You're like, no. Do they need to be, does either school needs to be Chicago's Big Ten team? I'll let you think about that for later.
I think they should fight it out. I think they should fight it out to determine who's Chicago Big Ten team. But I mean, we can have both. It's like the White Sox and the Cubs argument. We can have two, right?
Right, but you divorced the one team, so I don't know. That's like you had a side piece. I don't know these days. Heck, I mean, stuff keeps changing. I don't know.
So I don't know. We'll see. I do like that. Speaking of having two teams, so that's the thing I should have loaded today. It was released earlier today. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, Lance, but the city of Chicago on the ain't never gonna give up tip and ain't refusing to get another girlfriend released a video today, a 7-minute video of the proposed renovation of Soldier Field. And it's an incredible video. They even went and got Bill Curtis out of retirement to narrate this thing. And it's talking about a $2.2 billion plan to renovate and restructure Soldier Field, plus all the railroad tracks are going to come together, like the Metro line, the L station, Amtrak, to renovate Soldier Field to try to convince the Bears to stay. Now, the Bears already told them they leaving and got one foot out the door. But I told you, it's an election year. Mayor Lightfoot ain't going down without. She don't want to be known as the mayor who lost the Bears. So the Bears have come up with this. The city of Chicago's going with this $2.2 billion plan to renovate Soldier Field to try to keep the Bears. They're going to bring in all sorts of stores. And Sean may actually have part of the video. We're going to give him a chance. He'll let us know if he does. But they're trying to keep the Bears pretty much in all. Oh, here we go. Look at this.
World-renowned civic places. Places like Soldier Field. For nearly a century, it has been the icon on Chicago's lakefront. While other cities have erased these landmarks,
they put Dr. Martin Luther King in the video, man.
Chicago is on the verge of transforming one of our most storied civic assets into the very definition of the next generation of sports and entertainment venues. How do we get there? By reimagining Soldier Field in a way that addresses all of the emerging trends that tomorrow's fans will demand. Transit access is key. One Central brings together all modes of regional transit, CTA, Metra, Amtrak, and the new Shyline Central Area Circulator
What the
System
fuck is
in
a
a safe and
Shyline?
secure pedestrian environment on par with the very best international transit stations.
Oh, Lord, Lloyd.
Hey, you know, Jay, I heard about it, but I was like, I'm not going to watch it until Jason, because you just raised my head. They're going to Arlington. I'm like, I'm not wasting my time.
No, there's more.
We
Look.
ascend into the most dynamic entertainment district anywhere on the globe. An immersive fan experience built around 6 themed attractions that represent the best of Chicago. This is where we raise the bar on what urban entertainment means for tomorrow's fan and tourists. As you approach Soldier Field, the game day atmosphere is transformed through innovative technologies and partnerships with leading corporate brands, bringing fan immersion, engagement, and experiences to a level never before imagined. Welcome to Soldier Field. The Veterans Memorial is a monument to those who served our nation, a celebrated place, bridging our past to our future and paying tribute to Illinois veterans and their families, not
That's
just
a good
on game
idea.
day, but every day. Journey up to the historic colonnades. The Burnham Club captures the essence of what makes Soldier Field so unique, with sweeping views of Chicago's lakefront. The historic architecture that defines Soldier Field becomes the stage for one of the most dynamic club environments in all of sports.
So we're going to drink in the Roman Coliseum. Apparently is what they're doing here.
Puts the city's culinary scene on display in a way no other stadium has imagined. A focal point for fans on game day, and an important new offering for all visitors to Chicago's famed cultural mile.
If they do something like this, would be amazing.
These are the
but
amenities
you know what?
expected.
Here's the problem. Is that the Bears still ain't gonna own it.
Right, and that's why they ain't gonna do it.
That's exactly it. Okay, that's the whole purpose of them going to Arlington, is to own shit. They own their land. They own the parking lots. They get, okay. So all that is wonderful. It's great, but the Bears to this day they don't get money from the parking. All right, that the city gets all that, or whoever the city sold it to, but the city still gets the city tax from that. Mm-hmm. So now, and also think about it. You know, Virginia just hit 100.
Sure
right?
did.
She's not gonna be around much longer. Okay. And they're already talking about selling the team because their grandkids and great grandkids, they sound like little spoiled brats, and they want that money. So how can you make more money? So you build a stadium, so the value of your franchise goes up because you own the stadium, you own the land. So now this is going to be a $5, $6, maybe even $7 billion franchise if and when it's sold. So now $4 billion is a lot less than $7 billion, $6 billion. I'm not great at math, but I could. So that's why they ain't staying. If they sold them Soldier Field and were allowed to do that, okay, possibly. But they ain't selling them Soldier Field, and it's all about that paper.
So this whole production that they've done, fellas, I told my wife, this is all politics. This is all Lori Lightfoot trying to save her behind. And the fact of the matter is, if they really want to do this, they should have done it 15 years ago when they redid the damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
The second argument against it is you've now got to convince Chicago taxpayers if we're going to spend $2.2 billion to do this when we got schools that don't have nurses in them. We got mental health facilities that are closing. And the people are going to say, well, how is this money? Yeah, you got to spend money to make money. But every time y'all do this, we don't see the money come back into our community. Like you just keep reinvesting in downtown and other areas of the city. And Sean, you brought up a good point about the parking. Even now, the city of Chicago make all the money parking. And by the way, city of Chicago, y'all gave me a damn ticket on New Year's Day. I'm going to talk about that shit too. What the hell I got to pay the meters on New Year's Day when the damn city ain't even open? That's what I was mad about. I like the city hall is closed. Ain't nobody working. Y'all gave me a ticket for a meter, but okay, I digress. I just think this is way too much, too little, too late. And I just think this is the city of Chicago trying to save face because I think the Bears are gone, man.
Didn't you say, Jay, that was Sean Jerry Reinsdorf owns everything associated with the Bulls and Sox? Was that one of y'all said that he gets the parking and all that? That's the blueprint right there. So why would I, if you a good business person, why wouldn't you just move to Arlington like you said, Sean?
Yeah. Well, they wanted to buy Soldier Field, but the city, actually the city.
It was the Friends of the Park.
So the Friends of the Park, they didn't want that. McCormick Place, the old McCormick Place is owned by Chicago Pier and Expositions, something or other. They're owned by a private company. I said, if you could sell, if they were willing to sell the old McCormick Place to the Bears, all right, knock it down. You have a beautiful area, okay, for more than enough room for a stadium and park it. So now the south lot becomes the north lot, all right? All right, you still got still have 31st Street lot, but then also now you can still use the parking lot over right off of where King Drive turns into Cermak, right by the new McCormick Place. All right, and how about that? How about you park in that lot? All of a sudden, once you get to the bridge crossing King Drive, now you're indoors. You don't got to step outside anymore. All right, you don't have to deal with the elements anymore. Or people driving up. You know how people for all the conventions they go and they pull up to the front. Man, imagine it like a Hollywood theme. Every game day, people get dropped off in Ubers. You walk out of the car, 30 feet into the building, and now you're away from the elements again. You know what I mean? And then you just walk across Lakeshore Drive, over Lakeshore Drive into the new stadium. Dude, that would have been it, but they didn't want to sell. So, oh well. I ain't mad. For as much as as many bad things I have to say about the McCaskies and the way they've run that franchise, I ain't mad at them for this.
I ain't mad at him either. I ain't mad at him either, Sean. Neither is our guy Charles. Yeah, Meigs Field came into play. We've seen the city screw up a lot of stuff. And I'll throw another one at you that's also out in that area, Sean. They still ain't figured out what they're going to do with the old Michael Reese Hospital. It's been closed 20 years.
Yeah, was it for the 94, 96 Olympics? 96 Olympics? They were going to get them here?
2016 was what they were going to use it, the Rio ones.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been ridiculous how much the city has screwed this whole thing up. And I'm like, now y'all coming up with something in 2022 and these people have left? Like,
but they already have a purchase agreement.
Right.
They got architects with designs.
Right. And how long would it take them to actually build this? That's $2.2 billion worth of renovation.
Year and a half. Oh, it would be easier just to build a new stadium. It would take shorter time. It would take less time. Because if you saw what they did at the ends of the stadium, they collapsed those. They got rid of those so they can build the new stuff. Kind of the walkway would be on the south side, it looked like, of Soldier Field, the south end zone. So you got to collapse all that and then build. Yeah, it's a lot, dude. It's not. Like, come on. It's really, it looks nice. And people are like, well, maybe. No. It ain't happening. It ain't going to happen.
Nope. It has to be forward thinking. Like Jason said, the last time they did the stuff to the stadium, they should have did it then.
Yep.
I was at that game, the last game when they lost to the Eagles. And then the next day, they had, next day, they lost to the Eagles that day. They started moving, taking out the seats that day. Next day, most of the seats are gone. They were gone.
Should have did a dome. Should have, would have, could have. Then you could have had the NC2A March Madness there and other stuff.
But it is a great video. I like the video, and I love Bill Curtis. Bill Curtis's voice is still smooth. Bill got to be 90 years old.
I'm Bill Curtis. Me and my friends used to make fun of. We would just. That was the line. I'm Bill Curtis.
I didn't pull Bill out of mothballs and do this video. I'm like, whoa, Lord, Chicago really trying. This like that desperate.
It's not hard.
She done already got a new man, y'all. She got a new man. Let it go.
It's like Gladiator. They brought the old Gladiator out of retirement to slay Russell Crowe. He's like, nah, I got this. McCaskey's like, nah, that's okay.
I'm good. So when is the lease
I
up?
salute you.
When is the lease up?
It's like 4 years, maybe.
They have a lot of time. They can always get out of it, but they got to pay a penalty. But it's a couple million. They don't give a shit.
So when they gonna start building the Arlington Heights?
Well, they have to purchase the land. They haven't they haven't purchased the land. They agreed. They have a purchase agreement to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're doing now is they're doing their due diligence, making sure the land is fine, it's not toxic. Because who knows what the hell you've had in there with horses and all kinds of trucks and various
Bob Baffert,
but all kinds of different machinery in there, to for whatever reason, so they're making sure the land is good to build on the whole nine, because you're gonna have to support 60, 70, probably 70 to 80,000
at least 70
person stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure. So they're doing all their due diligence, and so it might get done maybe by the end of the year or beginning of spring of 24, and then they once they do that, and then they got to have the groundbreaking. That'll probably take 1.5 to 2 years to build. So you're looking at 26, maybe the 27 season is when they have the first game in Arlington Heights. Because then not only that, but you got to build the infrastructure. You got to have all the Amtrak and the Metro routes that go out there.
Right. And the sideline, Sean.
And the sideline. How can I forget the sideline?
Exactly, and why is Georgia already up 10-0 in the first quarter?
Well, because we knew how that was gonna go. But yes, the sideline. I was like, "What the hell is a sideline? Did I miss this, dude? Can I get a super transfer for this or something? Like, how do I get around the sideline? This is some new thing we creating. I don't know if we call it Elon Musk and he's building something underground. That's a sideline.
Actually, that would be phenomenal. Remember that whole thing in O'Hare. Yeah, it's only going to take 8 minutes, 8 minutes to get there. Man. So you get man, if they can do that and you got two stops. One's O'Hare, second is Arlington Heights for the Bears game. On Elon Musk, dude, I'm telling you, jokers would party in the city. All right, we got about a half hour before the game. All right, let's go hop on the train. We'll be there in 10 minutes.
And they were actually making that thing regional, Lance and Sean. When he was talking about doing that thing was going to connect all the way up to Milwaukee.
Really?
And you would be able to get from Chicago to Milwaukee in like 25 minutes. They were going to try to do a regional, have it go all the way to like Gary, and and I actually think that's what transportation in the future is going to go. I mean, we may not be alive to see it, but your Brooklyn may still be alive. I do think America is going to try to connect a lot of their cities like that,
especially the bigger cities. Yeah. New York, Philly, Boston, all of the
Yeah, it's going to become a corridors. You're going to have corridors. And they're basically trying to connect Milwaukee and Chicago now, because anyone who drives up 94 up here to Wisconsin, you can see all of a sudden all the land all of a sudden is now starting to get bought. And I got a couple of neighbors who's like, the lady owns an antique shop. And she said a company who she don't know where they from, some from our country, offered her like $1 million. And our antique shop is worth like $100,000.
Wow.
So when they start doing that,
we need to buy some property around.
Right. So we will see.
And the other thing before I hop off and let you guys close it out, I'd be scared for that, man, because the way mugs are acting in the city of Chicago now, right? Just the brazen way that the robberies are being. Imagine the violence. What happens the first game, all right? And now because you're not even in the park yet, you're coming in and you're in on the ground on the campus or whatever, and they say there's a shooting. You know what I mean? Or it's not even a game, or say they have it the night before, because it's going to be an entertainment center. So you're going to have a big to-do the night before the game, blah, 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 blah. And someone wants to act stupid and start shooting. Right. You know what I mean? The night before the game at the new multi-billion-dollar Bears campus, shots fired, 3 dead, 20 injured. You're like, I'd be scared of that.
Yeah,
I'm truly scared of that.
It'd be mess. So we'll see. Yep. I don't think it's gonna happen anyway, but we'll see. All right. Couple other times before we close out. I told you I'm wearing my number 23 Bears Devin Hester jersey today, and it's because of this. Devin Hester is a finalist for the 2020. This will be the 2023 NFL Hall of Fame. He was a finalist last year as well. Did not get in. Devin has been announced as a finalist. Will he get in this time, Lance Irvin?
He should, Jay. Devin Hester was probably, other than Dion, one of the most feared punt returners ever. He has, I can't remember the touchdown total, Jay, but I want to say about, 19 to 20. I know it's up
Something
there.
like that, because our guy from Atlanta just broke the record. Cordell Patterson just broke it this year.
He should be in the Hall of Fame, Jay. Come on now. He didn't get it last time. But like Devin Hester, I'm going all in for 23. The other bad man, when you kicked it to Devin Hester, I used to sit there like, ooh, it's
Must
about
watch
to get
TV.
good up in here.
It was
So,
must
shout
watch
out.
TV.
Hopefully he gets in.
Well, and I mean his kickoff return in the Super Bowl, that was probably the highlight of my Chicago Bears fandom after the 85 Super Bowl win. I mean, because I was down there in Miami in the bar when it happened, so that was absolutely incredible. So I really hope Devin gets in, and he's a good guy too.
We all know what we were doing and where we were at and who we were with when he ran that opening kickoff back. We all know we were at, and we thought, oh, hell no. Here's Super Bowl number 2. Thanks, Rex, for throwing a Chicago Southside native Calvin Hayden. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Lovey, for continuing to throw the ball in a rainstorm.
Can you leave Paul Lovey alone?
Paul
Lovely licking his wounds. He got like 15 million reasons why to lick his wounds, but maybe he did like Eddie O did. Eddie O said they walked in and told him he was finished and we're gonna give you 17 million. Eddie O was like, when you want me to sign and when you want me to pack up my office.
This is true. All right, couple more topics before we get out of here. We gotta have a family fight real quick.
What we need?
I got a beef with one of my Irvin cousins. So we've been trying to negotiate this deal for the last year. Your sister, Cindy Irvin, was honored recently after she's dissed What's Up Cuz on several occasions. Cindy Irvin told us she got to get paid to appear on our podcast. So I'm just going to put her out there. Now I'm going to put her name out there. But I love my cousin. I do love her. And she was recently honored. What was this? This was at the holiday tournament last.
Yeah, that was at the holiday tournament. That was Robert Smith and Tyrone Slaughter. That was the event that they have every year for the Chicago Basketball High School Tournament. So she got honored there at the Chicago Elite Classic. So for what she does for sports, for men's and women's sports. So she got an honor, and she told us, Jay, that we had to grease our palms to get her on the show.
Right, and she was at the Proviso West tournament while we were there on live air, and would not come up there and get on our show. Ain't that a mess?
Walking around being a hot mess like she was, but then she gonna call me the day after that. Was like, okay, I might be on y'all show now. I might come on because I saw what you and Jason do over there. I might allow y'all to put me on y'all show. Is that right?
So wait, after she got her award, she gonna tell me my rates just went up. I'm like, what in the world? Tell me her rates went up because she got her award. So congratulations to you, cousin Cindy. You know I love you, and you have always done a lot of great work for the kids in Chicago and for my ass, to be quite honest, because I got into volleyball reffing and told Cindy I was going to do it. She's like, I'm going to hook you up with the right people so that you learn the right way. And I will always be forever grateful to my cousin for doing that. And she definitely did that and hooked me up with Pam Young. And my career took off kind of after that, just being around the right people. So congratulations on your award. And what really made it bad is tonight she got the nerve to be on our boy Clyde Travis show on WVON at 10 o'clock.
Lucky we like CT. She going to tell me, okay, I might jump on y'all. I'm going to jump on CT.
Touchdown TCU. 10-7.
And you know what, fellas? I'm
10-7.
going with TCU tonight. I'm going with TCU. For the Heralds, you owe me. You owe me like 3 6-piece chicken wings of Heralds with hot and mild sauce. I'm taking TCU.
So this is definitely a Lance Irvin move. What? Before we get to the jump ball question, he gonna check the scores. All right, I'm gonna take TCU after the game started. This is a Bob Baffert fan, though, for the love of God.
I was a little late, but since we doing a jump ball, Jay, let me tell you, Sean, we don't even need the timer because I'm about to fry him real quick. How come I wouldn't take TCU? TCU is undefeated. They're having a magical season. The quarterback, Max Duggan, can throw the football, and he can use his legs, Jay. Anytime a team is 13, 14, and 0, I'm not betting against the TCU Horned Frogs. Plus, by the way, Georgia's secondary has been awful. The way Ohio State chewed them up. No. I'm taking TCU. And when I made my pick, Jay, they down 10-7. I'm taking TCU. Sonny Dykes? No, I'm not going against TCU, Jay. Every week, I was hearing the fellas on ESPN. Well, TCU is going down to Texas. TCU going down to this team, Kentucky. No, TCU ain't going nowhere. TCU is about to win. And sometimes, Jay, we need the underdogs. Shout out for the underdogs. I love the SEC in football. I love SEC. Jay, you know how you and I talk about Power 5, the resource.
Yeah.
How smooth would it be if TCU won it all, Jay?
It would be incredibly smooth. However, I'm picking Georgia because, as you just previously said, they are in the SEC. They do have a history. They are the returning champs. And damn it, they are Georgia. Even Herschel Walker with his crazy ass, when he was in Georgia, they won a national championship. I'm going with Georgia. Georgia on my mind. That's who I got winning tonight's game. TCU is a very nice, feel-good story, but I think at the end of the day, Georgia is going to do what Georgia do, and they're going to win this game.
The way TCU did my Michigan Wolverines,
yeah, they did them too.
Well, we were kind of physical up front, but the way they ran through us, I mean, I was shocked. We gave up about 900 points. So it's a much physical team, and our defense had been pretty good, Jay, up until that game. Like, we got destroyed. and the way that Ohio State scored on Georgia, Ohio State truthfully should have won the game if it wasn't for, a couple of plays late that helped them out. But I'm taking the Horned Frogs, Jay. I mean, something special is in the air. Something special is going to happen. I'm taking TCU. And make sure you have my chicken wings the next time I see you, okay? From Harold's.
I will make sure I do that. I'll be down there next week. We can do a Harold's Day. We can do a Harold's Day. So I will say this as we get ready to close out this episode. We had a little family outing last week. Me, you, Paula, and Brooklyn. We went. I took the Irvin family to the gun range.
I wasn't gonna bring that up, but if you're gonna bring it up,
I took the Irvin family to the gun range, Sean, and I gotta admit, I was surprised how well they did as novice shooters. But the person who impressed me the most, Sean, was Paula Irvin. And let me say this: you better not piss off your wife, because she's the best shooter in the family by far.
Hey, Jay, I wasn't a slouch now, but
I didn't say you was. Your wife was. You sure your wife ain't been sneaking off to the gun range when you doing what's up, cuz, or something?
I think she have, Jay, because when we looked at the chart and you brought that thing back in, and I said, dang, she was around. Her circle was smooth.
I mean, I put that target at about good 70 feet when y'all was shooting a semi-automatic rifle. And Paula was like, so just put the red dot on the thing, huh? I was like, yeah. So, usually with new shooters, you get shots. They kind of all over the place. You happy they hit the paper. Your wife was hitting center mass, and they were all like a half an inch distance. And I was like, okay, Paula, do two at a time real quick. Boom! I'm like, okay, try it again. Boom! Man, I pulled the target back. I was like, Lance better be nice to this woman.
Hey, Jay, but shout out to our teacher, though. I didn't call you and tell you. I asked the family. So what type of teacher was Cousin Jason? We all said Cousin Jason was great. So if y'all listening, you need an instructor, call my cousin. Your stuff was on point. And he wasn't playing with it. He was like, until I'm satisfied with you guys on all three platforms, we'll be here for a while. I was like, dang, but shout out, I appreciate it, Jay. We got to go next month, too. And you know who we need to have on the show?
Who?
Our girl, Javonda.
Oh, yeah, we got to get Javonda. Oh, you know what? And I'm glad you mentioned that. Javonda lost her mother recently. The funeral was a couple of days ago. So shout out to gun instructor Javonda Douglas on the passing of her mom. I did talk to her. I'm going to talk to her again. And we do have to get her on because she can talk about shooting as a sport and how more African Americans are getting into the shooting sports. I'm actually glad you mentioned that. But yes, we had an interesting family outing over the holiday break. But Paula Irvin, woo, I was like, man, Lance, don't leave this woman, man. Don't do no dumb stuff. I can't help you.
Hey, Jay, you know the thing about Paula is this, though. She wasn't an athlete in high school,
Right.
but she should have been an athlete, right? She could hit a golf ball a country mile. What she did at the gun range, every time we go, she's spot on. I told her, she's a fraud. She's a fraud because she should have been an athlete. I don't know what Pops did, a.k.a. Paul Rice. You should have had my baby as an athlete. I'm going to have to call my father-in-law. I got a bone to pick with him.
Yes. Yeah. But, you know, and I tell people a lot of times women can tend to be better shooters than guys, in my experience, because they take the ego out of it a lot of time. They just want to know how the weapon operates. And they'll follow your instructions. If you tell them to do something, they're going to do it like that. Whereas, we always got to have some flair shit to our stuff. It becomes like an ego battle for us. Oh, I can do this. Well, the women just like, I just want to kill the dude who's attacking me. So, what's the most efficient way for me to do that? So you teach them, they be like, boom, boom, boom. And Brookie did good too.
Yeah, Brookie, I know. I was like, Champ, you sure you haven't been
and when I'm living in Florida, she gonna need to get her gun. They crazy as hell.
Great instructor, great time, Jay. We're gonna promote
great time. So we'll put a photo of the Irvin Palmer family out at the gun range on our next show. But hey, that is it for this episode of What's Up, Cuz. We will be back next week with our first guest of 2023 at our regular time, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. We will have a regular show. Until then, everybody enjoy the NCAA football tournament. I am Jason Palmer. That is my cousin Lance Irvin. For our producer, Sean, the Superback Sierra, we thank you all for tuning in to What's Up, Cuz. Feliz Años Nuevo. And there's the photos that was taken by my wife off the boat. Happy New Year.
Very close, Jason. It's Año. Año. Because you said Happy New Year's.
I put the plural on it. I should.
Yes.
Yes.
Feliz Año Nuevo.
Feliz Año Nuevo.
There you go.
There you go. That only took 4 lessons, Lance.
Hey, we got to work with you. So, see, here's the thing. Like you're as you're learning this. Let me take this down so we can touch you. As you're learning it, you don't have to enunciate every word properly, because that is not how you talk, because this is how you sound when you say Feliz Año Nuevo. So if you just say Feliz, but you'll get it, okay? Because you're trying to get the word. Just Feliz Año, just Año, Año
Nuevo.
There you go. A lot because you're so worried about the diction and the proper pronunciation, you're enunciating very, very completely. But again, that is not how people talk. Okay. People do not talk like this. Okay. So just smooth, Feliz Año Nuevo.
Feliz Año
You'll
Nuevo.
get it. There you go. See? There you go.
See? Me and Justin Fields, Sean. We gonna get there our second year in the program. That's all we need.
See, be smooth like you picked up and shot the shotgun. You picked that thing up, you were spot on. Send a mask. Like, stay smooth with it.
Okay. All right, we getting there. So there you go. My Espanol will get mucho.
Stop trying to do too much.
Mucho better in 2023. All right, we're out of here, y'all. Peace out.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise. march on till victory.